In this video, we'll show you 5 of Huatulco's most popular beaches. We'll show you which ones have the whitest sand, the best snorkeling, and which ones are maybe a little too crowded.
We are Georgia and David. We quit our jobs to travel full-time around Mexico with our 14-year-old Sheltie-Poo Meep. Our goal is to take a picture with her in front of 100 Pueblo signs. So today we're driving about 45 minutes to the first bay of Huatulco, which is San Agustín.
Unfortunately, we have found out that the majority of beaches that are closer to the town of La Crucecita are not dog friendly. And Meep loves a day at the beach. So we are headed a little bit further. We have heard that this beach has a few different restaurants to choose from and they're dog friendly. So we have arrived at Bahia San Agustín. It's kind of interesting because when you are driving down, there's a little road with a bunch of signs and you can take different pathways and it kind of takes you to different restaurants, and each restaurant has its own parking. So you kind of have to just choose your restaurant without seeing menus or anything because the parking is free if you visit their restaurant. So this guy waved us in, we parked, and we followed him to his restaurant. Looks like we've got some little lounge chairs, and David's got Meep up there. You can see the water here is super calm. It looks like they've got a fair bit of coral too. Really, really pretty. Definitely packed with restaurants though.
The water here is so blue. It's so much clearer than the water that we had in Puerto Escondido or in Acapulco. In this bay, you can see there are a lot of cool rock formations, and then all this is coral. You don't even really have to go snorkeling. You can just look down into the water. See all these fish.
As you can see, the snorkeling here is fantastic. Because this beach is quite a drive and a good bit of the road isn't paved, most of the visitors appear to arrive on a boat tour. It was pretty empty when we arrived and cleared out well before sunset, but mid-afternoon it got kind of busy. The restaurant we chose was Angel del Mar. We felt the prices were fair and the food was good. We saw this in our 12-minute drive to Playa Maguey. Thankfully, both the unicorn and the flamingo made it safely to their natural habitat.
All right. So we are currently at Restaurante Las Hamacas. And we chose to sit inside. It's a little bit cooler and shaded, but we're right in front of the ocean. We got the filet, which is actually mahi-mahi, and it's cooked in garlic butter sauce. And then we got the shrimp cuatro por cuatro, which is 4 different types of shrimp, and you get 4 of each kind. And then we got 2 beers, and they brought us some tostadas and some salsas. So we're ready to dig in.
We aren't sure if Playa Maguey is technically dog-friendly, but Meep was welcome at the restaurant. There were quite a few restaurants to choose from, not as many as San Agustín. Playa Maguey is a wide beach with calm, swimmable water. We didn't see any fish, so I wouldn't recommend it for snorkeling. We were there on a weekday, and it never got very busy. Just as we were about to leave, a wild parrot flew into the restaurant and asked me to open a pack of saltines for him. We made sure to snap a family photo before making the short ride back to our Airbnb. Today we're at Playa La Entrega.
We have chosen to take a seat at El Bufadero, which is a mostly seafood restaurant here. I have to say that the water here at Playa Entrega is probably the best we've seen. It is a beautiful turquoise blue, and then it looks like there's a reef where the water turns into like a much deeper blue, and the sand is a lot more powdery than others. Meep is with us. I'm not sure if she's technically allowed on the beach, but she mostly stays in the restaurant anyway, and the guys called us over and saw that we had her. So also there was plenty of parking. So this beach is a good one if you want restaurants, bars, and parking. All right, so we have started with a giant bottle of water, a couple Negro Modelos. We've got an order of guacamole, and we've got an order of the quesadillas with beef. Everything looks really good, and we are starving. Well, you can see this beach is very popular, but you can also see the water is a beautiful blue, and the waves are quite calm. It looks like it's a good swimming beach. And then on this side, you can see that there are tons of restaurants and bars to choose from. All right, so for our main course, I have gotten the shrimp fried in garlic sauce, and it comes with rice and tomatoes and avocado. And then David got the fajitas con arrachera, so with steak, and his also came with the rice and the salad. So David went and chased down the Nieves man, or the ice cream man, to get us some treats, and Meep jumped up in his seat in the meantime, and they made these beautiful flower ice creams. So I'm assuming this one is fresa.
And this is actually vanilla.
Oh, so
Vanilla.
you see it? Those are beautiful.
So today we drove to Playa Riscalillo, which is about 10 minutes past Bahia San Agustín, which is about 45 minutes drive from our Airbnb.
Yeah, and the last like 25 minutes to San Agustin is dirt roads, and then that last like 10 minutes between the two is just very bumpy, narrow dirt roads. But I think you can make it fine in a regular car. You just have to go a little bit slower. We are currently at the restaurant El Corral, and it has a spectacular view. This particular bay is a little bit smaller. The water is very calm, and it looks like there might be good snorkeling here too.
Yep, some cool reefs out there. Riscalillo was easily our favorite beach. It stayed mostly empty all day, probably because it is difficult to get to. The sand is powdery soft, and it was dog friendly. They even had a sign for us to snap a family photo. The only possible downside is that there are only a couple of restaurants to choose from, but we enjoyed our meal at El Corral. The snorkeling was amazing. There were almost no waves, and the water was crystal clear. Oh wait, there was a second downside. They have very angry little fish that like to bite your legs and feet, and they seem to call all their friends once one finds you. The water was so crystal clear we were able to see a stingray while walking on the shore. On the far end of the beach, there was a carcass of an olive ridley sea turtle, who apparently wasn't so lucky laying her eggs. Alright, today's probably going to be our last beach day here in Huatulco, and we came to La Bocana with me.
It's a little bit past Secrets Resort, so it is one of the further beaches. It looks like there's a couple of restaurants, so hopefully one of them is meat friendly.
There are only 2 restaurants on this beach. We chose Restaurante La Bocana, and we thoroughly enjoyed our meals. This beach is wide and empty, probably due to the fact that the waves are fairly strong. It is a really great beach to take a stroll, and the rock formations add an interesting and picturesque feature. Dogs are technically not allowed on the beach, but our waitress told us nobody would say anything if we took Meep down, and we saw at least 4 other dogs on the beach while we were there. So we took Meep for a short stroll before making the 15-minute drive back to our Airbnb.
Thanks for watching. We hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, leave them down below. And if you haven't already, check out our video on beach clubs and day passes here.